All right, in this demo, another great, one of the best working shortcuts in InDesign is using master pages. So I'm going to go to File and Open. Inside my Chapter 3 is Folder 3. And again, since I said File and Open, I can only open the Hot Wheels catalog. And I have designed a blank catalog here. I'm ready to start dropping in all my photos, but not exactly yet. Okay, you'll notice this page has a red tab. Every left-sided page has a red tab, but the right pages don't. Every left page has a picture frame indicated by the X. All the right pages have nothing. So I've only set up half of this document. Okay. If I take my black arrow and try to click on anything, I can't because I laid these out on master pages. So let me show you that. Right up here above my pages, notice how it says A. And every page, I'm going to pull this pages panel out so you can see this. Every page, A. What that's basically telling me is whatever I do up here, if I put a box on this page, it's going to show up on every left page. If I put a red tab on this left master page, it's going to show up on every left page. I just didn't do anything on the right. So what I'm going to do is on this A master page here, double click. And here's my master pages. I set up a picture frame right here. I set up a red tab right there. I want the same thing over here. Okay, I want to put photos on both. So I'm going to click with my black arrow, hold Shift and Option. Shift will move it straight across. Option key for a copy when I let go of the mouse first. So now I have a picture frame on both pages. And I want this little red tab. So I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, click near the upper left corner. You don't want to click right here because you might get the picture frame again. So I'll just click just outside of that picture frame. Hold Shift and Option and drag a copy over to there. I'll let go of the mouse first. But that's not in the upper right corner. Okay, so here's the trick. I want to look at the center of this box, and there are my reference points way up here in the upper left. So I'm going to click the middle reference point, which is now looking at the middle of this box. Okay, there are a flip arrow right here. There's a flip vertical, and in our case, a flip horizontal. So when I click that, it flips right into the corner where I wanted it to. Perfect. Hit W. Now I've got my tabbed pages. I've got my two picture frames ready to go for all my artwork. Hit W again. Now I can double click page 2 and I'm ready to use my artwork. But notice I can't use these things. Here's what you got to watch out for. Okay? When you put artwork on a master page, it is glued down to all the other pages. I can't move these. I can only move it on the master page. It sticks to all these pages. But I gotta use these. I gotta put photos in these. So let's just shrink this down a little bit. Kind of stick it up here. And I want to put photos in all the boxes, but I have to be able to use the boxes. So here is the trick. I click on page 2, scroll down the list, and shift click page 38. So I've selected all the other pages in my document. And on my pages panel, in the upper right corner pop-up, I can say override, which basically means unlock all the master page items. Notice how these are dashed lines for the X's. When I click override, now they're all solid lines, which means now they are usable. See, I can click on them. That's beautiful. I can use these now. So here's how fast I have laid out a document. Notice every single page has a picture frame. I only drew two. One on the left master page, one on the right. When they are on master pages, they get copied to everything. That is a huge time saver and shortcut, especially if I know I'm going to use the same thing over and over and over again. So let's say I want to drop in all these Hot Wheels. I'm going to hit Command and minus, hold my space bar so I can scroll this up. I can see about 8 pages at a time, which is perfect. So I'm just going to do these first 2 pages. Okay, you click outside and you hit Command D for a document. Right here in Chapter 3, Folder 3, I'm going to click on File number 1 and I'm going to Shift click File number 2. When I click Open, these are now stored in the graphics cursor. Okay, in the upper left corner of my cursor, you can see a little mountain range, a little picture. So I've got pictures loaded into memory. To the right of that, in parentheses, says 2. I've got 2 photos ready to drop in. So what I would recommend is you put the upper left corner of this cursor right on the center of that X and you click. Objects will come in from their upper left corner. I don't aim for the upper left corner. I aim for the center, knowing it's going to push it into that upper left corner. Okay, so there's 2 graphics, but I've got like 38 pages, so I'm going to load all my photos. Click outside, Command D. I've done the first 2, so I'm going to click on photo 3, scroll down, and Shift click photo 37. I'm going to load all of these at once. I click Open. Wait a second for it to load them. Now I've got all these photos, so I just aim for the center. Click, 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 click. You don't have to be right on the center. You can be over here. Click. Just do it slowly. Now, when I run out of room, I can hold my space bar for my hand tool, push the next 8 pages up, let go of my space bar. They're still loaded into memory. If you try to go too fast, you're going to accidentally do this and click and drag a tiny, tiny little photo. So you don't want to end up screwing it up like that. So I'll go to Edit and Undo. Just click slowly so you drop in the entire photo. Don't try to go too fast. Hold space bar, push the next 8 pages, and I'll keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. The next 8 pages, click, 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 click. The last 3 pages. Oh, the last page is the cover. Okay, the back cover. So there we go. I've dropped in a catalog really fast. Okay, the only other thing I want to show you is I'm going to zoom in on this guy right here. Let's take my Pages panel and I'm going to double click page 6. I'll zoom in on this guy right here. Okay, and here's the issue you're going to be faced with. When I drew these picture frames, so I knew how big I wanted each picture to go, and then I threw the pictures in there, these pictures are slightly larger than the picture frames. So notice the pictures come in from their upper left corner, but right over here, the shadow is getting cut off. It's getting cut off there too. So if I were to hit the letter W for preview, that looks kind of stupid. So does that. This car's shadow would not just end in a straight line. That means part of the photo is getting cut off. So the trick is when I hover over a photo, it will start to highlight the frame, but you'll notice there is a circle right here. This is called your content grabber. We're going to go into that more in depth in a later demo. But just to show you what it does, When I hover over an image, this is the outer border of the actual frame that contains the photo. But when I click here, my photo goes beyond the edge of that frame. See, the frame is indicated with a blue outline. My photo is indicated with a brown. So this photo is slightly bigger than the whole frame. That's why it's getting cut off. Okay, and that can be a problem. So what I recommend is I'm going to click outside with my black arrow, click on the photo, not on the center, but up here. And then I can go to Object menu, Fitting. How does the photo fit inside this container? I want to center it. Look at that. Shadow is not cut off. If I click on the center right here, now my photo goes a little bit beyond the edge, all the way around. The photo is centered. It's just bigger than the container. But that's a nice touch because nothing gets cut off. Click, Object, Fitting, Center Content. Command-Shift-E. Okay, if that still looks a little odd, I can click right here on the center, use my arrow keys just to nudge that over a little bit. And that has a nice centered placement on the page. I'm not cutting off any parts of my photos. Smaller cars, they're not going to get cut off. But notice I got a lot of space. So if you wanted to be technically precise, you could click, Command key I'm holding down, Shift key I'm holding down, I'll hit the letter E. You notice how it jumped into the center of the page. Click, Command key, Shift key, and the letter E. It jumps to the center. Now the only problem that I hate in InDesign is I cannot do all the pages at once. Notice right here, if I start, I can click and drag through these two. But if I clicked and dragged down and down, notice it stops right there. Okay, I can't click and drag down through all my pages. So if I hit the letter W, every 2-page spread is like its own island. And that's what sucks. You can't travel. I can click and drag and then it will stop at that gap. So I literally, and I hate that InDesign does this, but I would have to select these two, Command-Shift-E. Select then these two, Command-Shift-E. Select these two, Command-Shift-E. Select these two, Command-Shift-E. Let's see if I can just hold my Shift key. Click, Shift click, Shift click. Nope, turn those off. Can't do it. So unfortunately, you got to do it 2 pages at a time, which really sucks, but it's worth it in the long run because your catalog is going to look nice. Okay, but that's what master pages are used for. Quick shortcuts. Just remember the key concept. Whatever I put on these 2 master pages automatically shows up on these 2 and these 2 and these 2 because they all have the letter A. Whatever is done on here is linked to this page, so be aware of that. And just to prove that one last time, let's say I want every left page to have a blue tab. I can double click up here on my master page, take my black arrow and click on this little red tab. There's my red fill. Here's my swatches panel, and I'll fill that cyan like that. I'll come back to my pages panel and just pick a random page, like let's say 16. Double click. Look at that. Every left page has a blue tab. I change it once, but it updates it 20 more times. Hit the letter W, and there's my tabs. That looks awesome. There we go. Perfect. That is the concept of master pages. We'll talk a lot more about those in a few other demos. And the next demo, before I forget, is about how to number my pages. Because look at this document. What if I added a table of contents that said Street Racers, start on page 12? How do I know what page 12 is? None of these pages have numbers. So I want to show you how to automatically number a page in InDesign, and that concerns master pages. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. I'll see you in the next tutorial.